Rain and the threat of storms in the forecast tonight, but it won't keep the usual crowd of for the past.
Hey, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm actually like looking forward to a little bit of rain. Let's change it up a little bit.
For the past 4 months, FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls 2 have proven to be the two most dangerous offensive teams in the USL. Tonight, they meet for the second time this season. Both clubs looking for more opportunities to find the net and crucial Eastern Conference points. Saturday Night Soccer is next. Rain and the threat of storms in the forecast tonight, but it won't keep the usual crowd of 20,000 plus away. Good evening and welcome to Nippert Stadium, as tonight a showcase of two of the top scoring teams in the USL. FC Cincinnati, the orange and blue, in first place right now, Kevin. And tonight we will see three dynamic scorers in Danny Koenig, Emmanuel Ledesma, and Armando Moreno.
No, 100%. I think, you look at both teams leading the league in goals scored. I think it's going to be an explosive game. I'm sure the fan at home is looking for a lot of goals. And I think a lot of both goalkeepers really will be put under a lot of pressure tonight.
Well, if you have big-time scores, that means you need big-time goalkeepers, with 3 scores coming in at 9 goals apiece. And for Spencer Ritchie, who gets the starting nod tonight, for Alan Koch and Evan Loro, for the visitors, they will both be tested throughout this match.
They will, for sure. Again, two teams that are prolific with goal scoring. They're going to put the goalkeepers under a lot of pressure. I think for Spencer Ritchie, a big opportunity for him as well. Hasn't played. This will be his 5th game. Tommy actually starting, taking over from Evan Newton tonight. So a big chance for him to impress. And again, it will be a very entertaining game.
Spencer Ritchie rotates into the lineup for the orange and blue and makes his 5th USL start of 2018, his first since May 12th. We'll show you the full 11 and check in with Linz after the break. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
Tom Glenner and Ken McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls 2 have taken the pitch for a battle of two of the top four teams in the Eastern Conference. Time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places for Alan Koch, a change in tactics and a few changes in the lineup, most notably at goalkeeper. Spencer Ritchie steps in for his fifth start of the year. Matt Boehner replaces Justin Hoyt, and a 4-4-3 will be the formation. Danny Koenig up top with talented Manu Ledesma to his left and Jimmy McLaughlin to his right. For New York Red Bulls, 2-0-3-6 this season on the road. We'll see Jared Stroud up top. Stroud on the season, 3 goals and leads the team with 6 assists. And in goal, Evan Loro, the 22-year-old, makes his 15th start of the year. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. She is down on the pitch where it is currently raining at Nippert Stadium for the latest. Let's go downstairs.
Yeah, guys, as you mentioned, the defense getting tested tonight against that youthful Red Bulls 2 group, leading the league in goals scored on the season. And when it comes to that lineup change with Spencer, I talked to Alan Koch about this about 2 hours ago, and he says he has to rotate the lineup and manage the lineup with all the matches they've had in a short period of time. But he also gave credit to Spencer, the hard work he's put in all season and at training. He deserved the opportunity tonight. When it comes to the weather, just a light drizzle right now. All
right, thank you, Lindsay. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Levy Law, where they turn your crash into cash for FC Cincinnati. Richie Ryan still on the injury report with that calf injury, and Mike LaHood on the injury report with a tight glute. He is in the 18 and available for some minutes if needed, but not getting the starting nod. Tonight's match official is Michael Radchuk, and it's brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. Radchuk awaits the signal, takes a look at his watch, and is just about set to go here at Nippert Stadium. The Baby Bulls with the white tops, red shorts and white socks. FC Cincinnati in their primary kits, the orange and blue hoops, blue shorts, blue socks tonight. And an unfortunate ball across the front comes to the foot of Tom Barlow. Nearly had an opportunity to test Spencer Ritchie early, but he slipped as he tried to shoot it. Al-Badawi will turn away New York, who shows immediate pressure after that first touch, and we are underway. The 6th all-time meeting between these clubs.
Well, Tommy, we were expecting a fast-paced game tonight, very entertaining. Both teams, I know Lindsay talked about it, both teams leading the league in goals scored. New York haven't wasted any time, starting fast in their attack, trying to put FC Cincinnati under immense pressure.
Baby Bulls 43 goals, that is first in the USL. FC Cincinnati just behind them at 39 and second best in the league. New York will work up the near touchline right to left. Tenari taps it into the middle to the foot of Stroud. Back to Tenari. Tenari rips a shot. Spencer Ritchie has to protect that upper 90, and it goes over the frame. An early corner kick as Spencer caught it with his fingertips. For New York coming from the near side.
A frantic start really. Now FC Cincinnati have got to focus on this first set piece. They'll be tested here, Tommy. New York have scored a decent amount of goals this year on set pieces.
Ball come from our left to the right of Spencer Ritchie in just the 2nd minute. Pressure on from the Baby Bulls earlier. Service right to the 6-yard box, headed away by Forrest Lasso. New York will have the throw-in right in front of second-year head coach Alan Koch. And Nico De Vera, the 5'5" defender, will put it back into play. Deflects right back to De Vera. Then FC Cincinnati into the midfield. This series in favor of Red Bulls 2, 3-2-0, but FC Cincinnati has won the last 2. Last year in the regular season home finale, 4-2 here at Nippert Stadium. And then they won the matchup earlier this year, 2-1. Boehner starting for Justin Hoyt today as Hoyt gets some rest. Is going to be called for a foul just inside the touchline, deep inside of the attacking third. New York wastes no time putting it back into play. Moreno tried to drop it back, came to the foot of McLaughlin, and it deflects off New York. FC Cincinnati will throw it in and try to catch their breath after a frantic first 3 minutes. Your keys to the match tonight, Kevin.
I think the first thing, you talked about Allen going back and switching that formation into a 4-3-3. New York Red Bulls are going to play a 4-2-3-1. So I think in a central area, The three central midfielders, I think, are going to have a tough battle. I think that's a big thing for FC Cincinnati to try to figure out. I think the second thing as well, and this is very, mindful of every Red Bull team, okay, is pressing. They've got to be able to deal with Red Bull's press. We're seeing it early. Just see how many white players are in FC Cincinnati's half here. They're going to be very relentless with that. FC Cincinnati on these tough conditions as well. Have to be patient, have to break that pressure.
And the orange and blue have not seen any possession thus far. Laurel just outside of the 18, sends it back into the midfield. Comes off of the chest of Moreno. Now back out into the midfield. Scarlett will hold it on his foot. The entire starting 11 for John Wolniak tonight, under 24 years of age. The youngest starter for FC Cincinnati is Forrest Lasso at 25.
You're going to see a young team with this Red Bulls team, Tommy. Another big profile. They're going to be edgy. They're going to be chippy. Pretty athletic. Not massive in size, but very quick, sharp, small, technical players. Like we talked about early in this broadcast, sets up for a very entertaining game. I think right now FC Cincinnati got to, like you said, got to get down. Got to settle possession a little bit. This is really the first chance now to break forward. Blake Smith on this left-hand side.
Tried to knock it out wide in the direction of Manu Ledesma. Didn't connect. Cleared away. Throw in for the orange and blue from the far touchline. Blake Smith will come back to the spot and bring it back into play. Finds Manu Ledesma. Seen a ton of minutes between Ledesma and Smith. They are second and third on the team in minutes played, behind only Corbin Bone, who makes his 19th start of the season tonight.
I think just really intelligent actually from Ledesma, soaking up pressure. You saw again, New York went across, they're very compact and try to press FC Cincinnati from that throw-in. Ledesma does enough to draw a foul. Gives Blake Smith now a chance to put it in behind, which I think is going to be another massive key. Can they play in behind the back line early?
Blake's ball there, 4 steps heavy in the direction of Corbin Bone. No trouble for Loro, who will collect and now put it back into play. Lindsay said it's just sprinkling now, but it was raining pretty hard about 10 minutes before the match. With two prolific scoring teams, Kevin, how does the wet turf affect this match?
Immensely, really, and that's what I talked about. I say Ledesma just caught off in an offside position, lets it run. Here's what's going to happen. It's really you put pressure on the defenders, Tommy, to make a mistake. And the light drizzle really will just make it very, very slick. Almost like ice in a way, so it's going to be very hard for them to predict the bounce of the ball. So first and second runners are going to be hard to deal with. And like I said, I think it's a chance for FC Cincinnati have to put the back line under pressure to try to force a mistake. Same thing for goalkeepers, being able to read those bouncing balls in front.
Orange and blue nearly made that mistake in the first minute. Tom Barlow had a great look to challenge Spencer Ritchie and lost his footing on the wet turf and didn't put it square on the frame. Throw will come from Matt Boehner near touchline. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank. Hadi Barrett making the start today with Declan Kanon getting some rest after playing the 2 matches this week already, Saturday and Wednesday. Kanon is not dressed, sitting 2 booths to our right with his father, who is in town visiting from Israel. I know his father was very proud as Jimmy McLaughlin's going to be caught offside. Ball was turned forward and McLaughlin had a chance, but the flag went up. Kanon got his first goal of the year and said it couldn't come at a better time with his old man here.
I think he remarked that, Tommy, maybe even you could miss that shot, right?
He did tell us in training yesterday that even I could finish that ball. And that's not the point, Deckel. I certainly could not do everything else that you do over the course of 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But yes, I probably could have tapped that one into the back of the goal. Ledesma, meanwhile, working in the midfield. If you missed the top of the broadcast, Ledesma, Koenig, and Armando Moreno, the 5'7" forward for Red Bulls 2. Right now all tied at second in the USL with 9 goals. Danny Koenig just lost his touch a hair, and Jordan Scarlett was there to recover for the visitors.
It's a thing for the players too. They've got to prepare themselves really for that first touch. I mean, the ball's going to skip up. They've got to be very, very soft with their feet. A little bit of argy-bargy here to start.
Nazmi Al-Badawi not happy with Christian Caceres. Gave him a little bit of a push. And Michael Radchuk is going to calm things down. Kenny Walker wearing the captain's armband right now, looking to restore the peace.
Nazmi, I think, does well. Just a little bit after has come in, a little bit of a push. Not too much in it. Expect to see a lot of emotion tonight, though.
Yeah.
I think the key, another big key as well, is FC Cincinnati have to stay disciplined. You talk about yellow cards. They're a team now with 40 yellow cards on the season. Certain players out there tonight, especially, are very close to suspension.
Good news for Danny Koenig, who's on 4 yellow cards. He had 1 reduced due to good behavior, so his next yellow does not result in a suspension. If you did not hear, as New York pushes to the attacking third, Emery Welshman is suspended 3 matches, so he is out tonight, also sitting in that booth 2 to our right. New York in the final third, looking to continue their transition attack, and the shot goes just wide to the right of a diving Spencer Ritchie. Goal kick coming. Actually, they're going to say again it was deflected, and a second corner kick here in the first half for New York.
Make these set pieces as well. FC Cincinnati have to say switched on. We've seen it already. New York don't mess about. Tommy, they want to play quick. They want to play short.
Ball will again come from the near touch. The attempt was to play it short to De Vera, intercepted by FC Cincinnati, and now Danny Koenig working hard to push it out into the midfield. Set back, intercepted by Bone. Corbin slides it to his right onto Jimmy McLaughlin, making his 2nd consecutive start. 6th start of the year for the Malvern, Pennsylvania native, Jimmy McLaughlin. Bone's going to drop it back in the direction of Lasso, and Forrest will give room for it to come over to Blake Smith.
Blake Smith does really well, just under pressure again. I think both teams really struggling, Tommy, to get into a rhythm. A lot of misplayed passes so far, really, from both teams, which, if you look at both teams as well, both upper 50s percentage as far as passes completed, typically in games. So a big thing for both of them is really figuring out these conditions and getting on with it.
New York came out flying and maybe had a bit of rhythm for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then things settled down. And both clubs looking for opportunities. That match, when these 2 teams played on June 2nd at Red Bull Arena, finished 2-1 in favor of the orange and blue. Red Bulls 2 struck early. There was a goal from Moreno in the 7th minute. And then remember the missed penalty kick from Brian White, who is in the 18 but not starting tonight. White misses that PK to push it to 2-0, and it completely flipped the match.
Totally changes the game. Ledesma, if you remember, with a fantastic finish.
Moments later.
Chip, and we talked about it all season long, really. You know, the influence that Danny Koenig and Ledesma have had together. Danny Koenig ended up being the game winner, scoring that 2nd goal in that game.
When Danny Koenig and Manu Ledesma both score in a match, FC Cincinnati 5-0-0 on the season. Twelfth minute at rainy Nippert Stadium, scoreless as Blake Smith throws it in far touchline. Comes off the chest of Koenig, cleared by New York, but right to where Blake Smith was waiting to throw it in once again.
I think, you know, I talked about possession needing to improve for both teams. For FC Cincinnati, I think the other thing too to think, you know, with how Red Bull kind of press on one side, they've got to be able to open up their body if they can and switch the point of attack early. I know Jimmy McLaughlin's been out wide on this right-hand side a couple of times. Give him his chance really to get first possession for Jimmy.
How much does the role of Nazmi El-Badawi, and I get it, he's playing out wide today, but this isn't a spot that he's really been in much at all this year. He usually plays at that 10, holding behind the 9, but today in the 4-3-3 in a bit of a different formation. I
think he'll play in a central position, honestly, Tommy. I think he's just the way the triangle's set up there. I think he is going to play underneath. There will be a lot of rotation within that triangle. I think you'll see kind of 2 natural wingers, Ledesma on the left and Jimmy McLaughlin on the right-hand side. Really, that triangle, when I talk about rotation, be Kenny Walker, Corbin Bone, and Nazmi El-Badawi.
Which teams are hitting top gear as the league comes down the stretch in the race for the 2018 USL Cup playoffs? Find out every Monday evening with the USLsoccer.com Power Rankings. New York forces it out near touchline. FC Cincinnati will have the throw-in deep inside of their final third. Cincinnati native Matt Boehner, making his 6th start on the year, will come over to bring it back into play. Finds Al-Badawi, looking to bring it inside of the 18. New York does well defensively. De Vera clearing it into the midfield. Barrett coming forward. Lasso.
Strong tackle there from Lasso. It's a bit of a follow through as well.
Not happy about that follow through. We'll see what Michael Radchuk does, and he is reaching to his pocket. An early booking here at Nippert. Andrew Tinari picks up his 3rd yellow card on the season in the 14th minute.
Tinari certainly hits him as he comes through, Tommy. I think Forrest is complaining to the referee as well that he had his cleats showing. Just comes in here with his studs up. Slips, actually. I think Tinari has every right to go for that ball, though.
Forrest Lasso frustrated with the tackle, but certainly pleased to see New York's captain land in the book. So Cincinnati will send the free kick out past midfield and try to set something up offensively. Haven't had a good look to test Morrow yet. Morrow, excuse me. Here's a chance in transition. Spencer Ritchie is big and brave and comes out to make the save at the corner of the 6-yard box.
Tom Barlow grabs onto this opportunity for New York very quickly. Shows electric pace. Really, it was a mistouch by Forrest Lasso. Ended up coming off his shoulder.
Barlow, 22 years of age, has done a fantastic job at picking up on those FC Cincinnati mistakes early on.
You said it too. Spencer Ritchie came up big on that one, Tommy. Good first test for him.
Al-Badawi trying to work up the right side, and Koenig's return pass too strong. Throw will come for the visitors. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Frisch's. Al-Badawi looking to center it in the midfield. Now it'll come off to Bone.
Good touch.
Bone has Ledesma, shakes a defender. Man into the top of the 18. Mano Ledesma trying to chip it up and over Evan Loro. Unable to find the touch, but it was deflected away by New York, and we'll see a set piece opportunity for the orange and blue here in the 17th minute.
That was great play, really. Corbin Bone did well to settle the ball down. Took it down, fed into Ledesma. He saw the space open up. Did a great job just penetrating now, resulting corner. The first time really to put Loro under pressure with the goalkeeper here.
Mano Ledesma from the near side. First corner kick of the night for the orange and blue. It's brought to you by the Levy Law Offices.
We've seen this setup already.
Ledesma on the service with his left foot. And Forrest Lasso for the 2nd consecutive game finds the net. 1-0 FC Cincinnati.
Just before he played that ball in, I was talking about it. We've seen this before last, what, 3 days ago?
4.
We had a similar goal, Declan Keenan, front post balls whipped in again by Ledesma. And we said this on the last broadcast as well, Tommy, that they've not been scoring from set pieces. That's definitely changed in the last 2 games.
Lasso's 2nd goal on the season. For Ledesma, it'll be his team high 9th assist. And Forrest Lasso challenging Jimmy McLaughlin for the best dance moves on the team.
That's a great ball in again. Forrest Lasso unmarked, really. Had a ton of space. Jumps up. I'm not sure about the dance again, but fantastic finish. 1-0, the big lad scores again. Talk about centre backs getting goals.
Alan Koch knew a quick start would be important tonight, and the center back delivers. That's 3 consecutive goals for the orange and blue from their center backs. New York will throw it in right at their attacking third, far touchline, and play it into reverse to work on their buildup. Hassan Endam, the defender, 6'4" from Cameroon, into the middle. Scarlett, one back by FC Cincinnati. Boom. Had a touch up the left side, but it rolls out a bit heavy. New York will throw it in onto their goalkeeper, Evan Laurel. Laurel, a New Jersey native, 15th start on the season tonight. Came into this match with a 1.35 goals against average. 22-year-old. He is one of a handful of players tonight for New York on Major League Soccer contracts. Only 2 starters for the Baby Bulls tonight who are playing on MLS contracts at this point. Foul is called in the midfield. Manu Ledesma is going to get a conversation from Michael Radchuk. And this is where Manu needs to be careful, because we talked about it. Manu, the yellow card issues. Here's the foul as Manu caught a piece of the foot there. Just
got to be careful, you know, as the season goes on as well. And we talk about, like, FC Cincinnati have 40 yellow cards, which is, it's a lot.
Substantial.
I mean, we're just over halfway through the season, you know, but it really starts to play a big factor as you get closer to those playoff, you know, situations. And I think they've just got to be a little bit more disciplined.
Boehner heads away the free kick. It'll roll out and New York will throw it back in. But Ledesma is on a yellow card watch, because his next yellow card results in a 1-match suspension. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, Emery Welshman right now serving match number 1 of his 3-match suspension. I think folks were pretty surprised when that news came down yesterday. Alan Cox told the Cincinnati Enquirer he thought the match official handled the situation on Wednesday night very well when Emery was given a yellow card, but the independent discipline committee ruled in a 3-match suspension. Danny Koenig unable to catch up with that ball, so Welshman will not be available until mid-August. And with the yellow cards adding up for Danny Koenig and Manu Ledesma, they both have to be cognizant of that, because all of a sudden, a little short on strikers.
Right. It certainly becomes a challenge, in the attack, and again, so, you know, positions that obviously any team relies on heavily, but especially when you talk about Danny Koenig and Ledesma, what they've brought to this FC Cincinnati attack this season. Massive reason why this club's in first place in USL.
Ball deflected out along the end line. Kenny Walker now will take the quarter kick. FC Cincinnati's first goal came on a corner from Manu Ledesma. Can Kenny Walker match it?
I think the other thing to think about real quick before this ball's played in, Tommy, that the advantage of height that FC Cincinnati have over New York.
Here's Walker on the service. Lasso unable to get to it. Koenig knocks it out. Jimmy McLaughlin can't keep it alive. Cleared into the midfield. Blake Smith on the preventative coverage.
That advantage on set pieces, though, is going to be crucial tonight.
Paddy Barrett is going into the book with a hard tackle right in midfield. Well, Michael Radchuk has proven early, if you're overly physical, you're landing in his book.
As long as he's consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either coach won't have a problem with it. The players won't have a problem. The players will figure that out. I guess when the referee is inconsistent, then it's really hard for them to gauge what's a foul and what's not. So far he's done a good job. He set the ground for it. Right? This is what he expects. And I think that's fair enough.
3rd yellow card on the season for Paddy Barrett. And right there, he's a big physical Irish lad.
He's a big lad.
He was coming
potatoes, definitely.
He was coming in full speed ahead.
Oh.
It's more of a hockey check.
Better watch out. Gaelic football.
Soccer tackle.
This is a game played in Ireland, Tommy. I'll show you one day when you come across the water.
Sounds good. Deal. Whatever it is, I believe that matched Paddy's tackle there. 1 yellow card apiece. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 as we approach the midway point of the first half. Spencer Ritchie making his first start since May 12th in a USL match. His last start across all competitions was June 6th. The US Open Cup loss in penalty kicks here at Nippert to Minnesota United FC. Want to win tickets to a USL game of your choice? Show off how well you know the league every Tuesday morning in the USLsoccer.com Pick'em contest to have a chance to be a winner. Corbin Bone is onside into the 18. Bone cutting back across and just misses, went near post, and couldn't finish the golden opportunity.
He does everything right, Tommy, apart from the finish. Fantastic cut back inside. Just on this little cut here, he looks up, he's got more time. He's got about 4 yards in front, Tommy. He could have honestly taken another touch. Tries to snap at it a little bit quickly. It's definitely a chance that Corbin wants back.
Loro out across midfield. You know, about 8 minutes ago, Kevin, we said that it really felt like neither club has found the rhythm. Phil, over the last 8 minutes, FC Cincinnati's done a good job at least finding some.
I think what they're doing is really forcing the play a little bit. I think they're pressing New York. I think they're being a little bit more direct, which I think they should be. They figured out conditions. I don't think it's from build-up, though, Tommy, is my point. I think the big thing really is they're sensing, you know, what New York Red Bull are going to leave at the back as well. You know, a team that's going to press, they are going to be able to be in a position to be exploited. And I think FC Cincinnati figured that out in the last 5-10 minutes.
Foul is called on the orange and blue. We'll set up a free kick from about 45 yards away for New York. Saris Jr. standing over it. Now he's going to make way for Tenari. Tenari, 5 goals, 3 assists on the season with his right foot. Chips it in. Endom is there and finishes it to even the match at 1 apiece.
I think it's an own goal if we see it again.
I think you're right.
I think Danny Koenig might have just got across it. Very, very unfortunate as well. Did what he was supposed to do. Track the runner. Stay goal side and ball side. Van Dam. We'll end up seeing it again here as this ball gets played in. It's a great ball in by Tenari. I think, yeah, ends up hitting off at Danny Koenig's head. Very unfortunate.
It came off his head or his shoulder. Yep, there you go. They're going to mark it as an own goal coming off of the body of Danny Koenig. Jimmy McLaughlin quickly making up a run on the right side. Tried to center it. Getting in the way was Scarlett. FC Cincinnati will have another corner kick and an opportunity to jump back on top.
Well, we expected a fronty game, and I think it's delivered so far.
That goal was the first goal FC Cincinnati allowed in 400 minutes. Just short of the club record. They needed 6 more minutes to set a new club record and fell just short as New York found the equalizer off Danny Koenig.
No matter what, I think it's been a very impressive streak.
Head coaches are now yelling at each other at midfield, and the 4th official getting involved. FC Cincinnati trying to create some chaos there.
Expect it. It's going to continue the entire game.
Michael Radchuk's going to have his hands full for the next hour or so. Mano Ledesma on the service, trying to score like we thought he did on Wednesday night.
Which he did.
Yeah, but I don't disagree. It was from that exact same spot. Would have been the 3rd goal of the match. Fortunately, did not matter. There was a foul called apparently by John Freeman somewhere inside of the 18. I've watched the replay a dozen times, and I'm not sure where the foul was.
He just bends in. Such a great ball. Such a dangerous ball, Tommy, you know?
Absolutely. The goalie has so many things to think about.
Especially with all those players set up on his front post.
Loro survives this time. His strong ball into the midfield was headed down by Barlow. Then played out wide by FC Cincinnati, and New York will throw it into the left of the Orange and Blues dugout. Moreno taps it into the middle. Tenari over to the right. And skied up towards the Bailey. Echeverria, the midfielder from New York, missed on the shot. Spencer Ritchie now has a pair of balls to work with and decide which one he wants to put into play.
You think about that goal too. Spencer obviously getting the start tonight. There's not much he could have done about that, Tommy. Very quick deflection, really didn't have much time to respond or react.
Koenig awaiting the pass. It's cleared out of play near touchline. Boehner firing in the direction of McLaughlin. Al-Badawi heads it down. Throw in for FC Cincinnati to the right of New York's dugout. 29th minute, Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson. Our producer David Ashbrook, happy to be with you on a wet Saturday in the Queen City. Tied at 1 apiece between the two most prolific scoring teams in the USL. FC Cincinnati already has their 40th goal on the season. In New York, their 44th. Kenny Walker is going to be called for a foul. Got tied up on the challenge. With Moreno. Scarlett to De Vera. McLaughlin pokes it away from him. De Vera will throw it in. FC Cincinnati, a +18 goal differential coming into this match. That's best in the Eastern Conference and second best in the USL.
I see Danny Koenig just coming back with the play defensively. I think he needs this really, if he can, stay on the last centre back. Starting to take up that position right now, but if FC Cincinnati can find it, win the ball back here in transition.
Stauffer into the 18, sliding in was Forrest Lasso to make the tackle. It'll be a corner kick for New York. Alan Koch not happy about something down on the sideline and expressing his concern to the fourth official, as well as the linesman on the near side. New York will have a chance on the corner kick from the far side to the left of Spencer Ritchie. Captain Andrew Tenari will take it. Tenari's out-swinging service headed away by Bart. Half hour gone and Nipper tied at 1 apiece. New York remains on the tack with Stroud. Pulling it towards the corner. Blake Smith on him. He back heels it away. Service comes off of Smith. And another corner for New York.
Just the point I was making earlier, just about Danny Koenig staying high. If you look at New York's, their preventative coverage isn't fantastic, Tommy. I think there's certainly an opportunity for FC Cincinnati to try to hit on the break quickly, to find the right chance and the right time.
Tenari again. Bart heads it down, sent into the 18. McLaughlin turns it away. Throw in New York. De Vera was looking to get it back into play immediately, but didn't have much help. Now fires it in. McLaughlin comes over. New York knocks it out. And Matt Boehner will throw it in for the home lads. New York comes in hot to Cincinnati. Winners of 3 straight, and in those 3 wins, outscored their opponents 13-3.
You look at the overall series, obviously New York are leading 3-2. A lot at stake tonight as well. You talk about the USL standings, even though, you know, Red Bulls are 10 points behind in 4th place. They're going to try to come here, try to get a result.
Manu Ledesma is tackled. More American football than traditional football style near the far touchline. FC Cincinnati lobbying for a booking. Won't get it, but will have a free kick about 40 yards away in the 33rd minute. Just look at Ledesma being taken down.
Smart again.
Yeah, Stauffer coming over his back.
Just saw the pressure was coming. Did well just to turn his body as well.
Rain starts to come down a bit more here in the Queen City as Kenny Walker will take the free kick in this tie ball game.
These chances really suit and favor FC Cincinnati, Tommy.
Walker with his right foot into the box. Forrest Lasso doesn't get to it. New York trying to clear. Al-Badawi looking to keep it alive. De Vera up the left side, gets it out into the midfield. It'll skip out there. Banner in front of New York's bench, back into play. Koenig working down the right side, catches up with it. Unable to drag it towards the goal. Jordan Scarlett there once again for New York. I think he's been fantastic here in the first half. Caceres into the middle, came to Tenari. Ledesma does well to win it right back.
Does really well.
Yeah. And Ledesma is cut down right at the center circle.
Ledesma tries to finish off with a little nutmeg, I think, at the very end, but did really well. 3 players coming in to press him. Seems like he's in a little bit of pain, but
I think this is where we find out if Michael Radchuk is going to continue his consistency from the first 34 minutes, if there is a booking here. Certainly seemed as hard of a foul as the 2 we saw result in yellow cards. Let's find out.
I think what he really tries to do, does well just to win it back. Ledesma here uses his body again, gets under the pressure, cuts back inside, and I think this opportunity right here just tries to nutmeg him.
You know what's interesting? That's Tenari. If it were a yellow card, which I don't think is out of the question the way the first half has been played, he's sent off.
Yeah.
He was booked in the 14th minute, so Radchuk's going to allow him to continue.
I don't think it's a yellow.
Okay.
I think, again, he had every right to come in and try to win the ball. Firm enough challenge, you're right, Tommy, but like you said, he's got to be careful.
I would think he was certainly warned. Ledesma will put it back into play. In the direction of Paddy Barrett, and the center back does it again! The big Irish lad sneaks in and gives FC Cincinnati a 2-1 advantage.
Tell you what, Tommy, we need to figure out what Alan Koch is doing with these centre backs at training.
I want whatever he's feeding them. 4 straight goals from the center backs.
The only problem with this, center backs now are going to, in training games, are going to be asked, can they play the 9? Can they play the 10? Great ball, great delivery, and what a time and run from Paddy Barrett. Brave into the bottom corner as well. It's not as easy as it looks. That ball's hanging for a long time. He has got to concentrate, keep his eye on the ball the entire flight. Another great finish.
First goal on the season for Paddy Barrett. 11th different player to score this season for the Orange and Blue, and make it 4 in a row for the center backs.
And Paddy, I'm sure he feels at home tonight with this weather, Tommy.
Yeah,
when we come over,
do you feel at home?
Bring your raincoat.
You need it about 15 degrees cooler though, right?
Yeah. Set up again. Great touch.
McLaughlin nearly had the feed to Koenig. Ledesma crashing in, trying to catch up with it. And Laurel has to come over. You can hear on our crowd mics how hard the rain is coming down at this point. You can see it in that replay as well.
Absolute nightmare for a defender, really. That ball going back in the dam, it's just very tough to deal with. Ball's going to skip at you, gets caught under your feet. I think FC Cincinnati can continue to be a little bit more direct, really, and put this backline under pressure.
Moreno into the middle. Corbin Bone dropping back and makes a defensive play. Koenig with a great touch. Now he'll try to turn on some speed. Bit of a heavy touch. He's shoved right along the end line. As it goes out, it's going to be a goal kick, much to the chagrin of the wet fans here in Cincinnati.
Interesting. I'd like to see this one again. I think Scarlett, I know you've talked about, I think he's had a great game. I think it's a little lucky on this one.
Mistake there, 100%. Shoves Danny Koenig across the end line. Scarlett is slow to his feet. Koenig was pointing to the replay on the video board. Let's take a look.
Tony has this touch here, he overhits a little bit.
Right.
I still think he can get to the ball, though. That's a foul.
Yeah. And I think he gets to the ball if he's not fouled.
It's a foul. It's a free kick. It's not a penalty. Just outside on the edge of the box.
Scarlett on the play. Apparently injured, because I don't know any other reason why he would want to lay there in the rain.
Danny Koenig had him for pace. He got behind him. The only thing Scarlett could really do was try to push him to prevent Danny Koenig from getting to that ball before it crosses the end line.
I can see Alan Koch from up here in our broadcast location asking the match officials to get play resumed, and you can understand why. Momentum is 100% in favor of the orange and blue at this point. Momentum,
conditions.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you don't want players to kind of stiffen up.
Lindsay Patterson in her rain slicker just caught up with Alan Koch. Let's find out what they discussed.
Yeah, he had a chance to talk to a couple of the guys, Jimmy McLaughlin and Patty over there, and I asked him, what were you telling them? And he said, you guys have to be careful out there. They're calling this game pretty tight.
I agree, 100%. And Alan passing that message along. Calling it tight except for that foul along the end line, which the match official hearing a chorus of boos after not calling.
We were in the presentation before the game. The opening slide, Tommy, was work rate and discipline. That's certainly the message again being reinforced by Alan Koch. Just got to be intelligent with what they do.
And no doubt will be reinforced in about 10 minutes when they get into the dressing room at halftime.
Yeah, they have to show passion though, and they're showing it. You just got to be intelligent with it.
You know, it's interesting. I've had conversations with folks about who will be FC Cincinnati's rival in Major League Soccer next year. Obviously, if Columbus is in MLS, that's going to be a rivalry. But that's an unknown at this point. If Columbus is not in Major League Soccer, as Paddy Barrett is fouled, and we're going to have a booking, I believe. Tom Barlow is either going to get a conversation or a yellow card. Maybe just a conversation. Either way, yep, it'll just be a conversation. Who's the rival if Columbus isn't there? Is it Chicago? Man, they played once in the Open Cup. I don't know. But New York, I think,
it makes a lot of sense.
Definitely one of the candidates. Look at the rain right now up in the second level on the far side. It is coming down here at Nippert, headed away to the far touchline.
I mean, you're just talking about history of clubs alone. Obviously, they see the MLS second team, but even you throw in the Open Cup game last year. I mean, that's definitely got to add a little bit of fuel to the fire.
Ledesma working towards the corner with two defenders on him, touched away. Now New York unable to clear it. Blake Smith trying to center it, pinged away.
It's like a possible handball, honestly.
I thought so. Red Bulls 2 into the midfield, trailing by a goal for the second time tonight. Their goal came on an own goal off the chest or head of Danny Koenig. Caceres is fouled by Nazmi and quickly sends it forward. Barrett with the go-ahead goal brings it off his chest. Al-Badawi trying to send it forward. Has it turned away. Throw in for FC Cincinnati. There'll be 3 minutes of regulation left in the first half, plus some stoppage time. And we've had 3 goals and 2 bookings, plus an injury, so there may be a little bit tacked on.
A lot of action in this first half. It's going to continue as well. I think if you're a fan at home, you're enjoying this.
Absolutely.
If you're a fan in the crowd, you're just trying to stay dry if you can.
You're not staying dry if you're here at Nippert Stadium.
Lucky for us, Tommy, we're in the booth.
Absolutely.
Nice and toasty.
We are warm and dry, high atop the pitch here at Nippert Stadium, and happy to be with you for the 3rd time in 8 days. Been a busy week for all of us. Radio only on Wednesday night with a nationally televised match. And happy to be back with you on our simulcast tonight. Tenari loses the touch, and now McLaughlin forward. Koenig, great ball into the middle, finds Ledesma.
Just good understanding again by those two.
Ledesma beats 2 defenders. Had Nazmi Al-Badawi to his left, and the pass didn't make it. McLaughlin will pick it up. He has 2 defenders on him, and just loses it on the near touch.
Just went out, yeah. Ledesma unlucky not to find Nazmi. Probably about 6 inches away of just being able to serve him a gift of an opportunity.
Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, I'm going to take a walk with assistant coach Yohan Dame. Talk about his love for the sport. Spencer Ritchie has to come off his line right to the top of the 18 and send it back out into the midfield. Lasso over to Smith. On to McLaughlin, working up the left side. Bone to Albadawi. Nazmi squirts it onto the right Boehner. Boehner gets a little bit of a push in the back. Able to cross it. Laurel punches it away. Corbin Bone takes a shot. It's deflected. Danny Koenig was calling for a handball. New York under siege right now.
Matt Boehner does fantastic on that run. What a delivery as well. Boehner's strong in the challenge. You think again it's going to go too far for him. What a ball. I mean, you want to put it in that position, top of the 6-yard box. It's this in between if the goalkeeper's going to come or not. Laurel actually does well with it, really, just to get a hand on it.
45th minute, 2-1 FC Cincinnati. Goals by Forrest Lasso and Potty Parr, the starting center backs tonight, both assisted by Manu Ledesma. His 9th and 10th assists. Right now, Kenny Walker, in his 3rd year playing for FC Cincinnati, has 9 assists. Manu Ledesma now has 10 in his only year here at FC Cincinnati. Spencer Ritchie at the other end deflects it on the quick run by New York, and a corner kick coming for Red Bulls 2. They tried to get it off quickly. FC Cincinnati was fast in responding to jumping out at the potential of a short corner. Now Tenari will take it in stoppage time. Tenari hits it. Spencer Ritchie catches it. No trouble for the orange and blue. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be tacked on here in the first half, where it is pouring in Nippert Stadium. Ritchie into the midfield. Endom knocks it down. Moreno. Corbin Bone is there to challenge him. New York keeps it alive. De Vera. Forward Casares. Well defended by Albadawi, who pushes it out.
Great energy. Again by FC Cincinnati. We've seen a ton of games in the heat in the summer here. It's one of these nights where they're not going to feel the effect of it.
Tenari pokes it out wide. The shot is taken by Stauffer, turned away by Lasso, and kept alive by New York. About halfway through stoppage time. Cross is caught by Ritchie. Tell you what, Spencer Ritchie, starting in the USL match for the first time since May 12th, has managed well here in the first half.
He's done well. He's been tested, I think, right 3 or 4 times. He's come up big, low. Very, very secure that last corner kick, and then obviously this opportunity from across as well. Just reading it, securing it, and again, conditions not perfect for a goalkeeper. Got to make sure that you hang on to that ball. Yeah.
Ledesma's knocked down near sideline. It was De Vera who got a piece of him. Ledesma's pleading his case to the 4th official and getting an earful, meanwhile, from the New York bench. You see this?
Chooses not to.
The camera right now on Alan Koch.
Yeah.
Manu is about 6 yards away from the spot. There you go. Back it off. He tried to advance it with the 4th official standing 3 steps behind him. That wasn't going to happen.
New York playing a very high line. It's inviting Ledesma just to play in behind.
Here's Ledesma's service. Lasso can't get to it. De Vera plays it right to McLaughlin. Moreno comes over to collect. Ledesma plays it out into the stands. It'll be a throw-in for New York, maybe with 15-20 seconds remaining here in the half. Uncle Radchuk will check his watch, and we will await his whistle. Lansing header on the throw-in. And there is your halftime whistle here at Nippert Stadium. 45 minutes of soccer in the books, 45 more still to come, with FC Cincinnati on top 2-1. Both clubs will head for the dressing room, and we will hear from Alan Koch here momentarily. Lindsay has the head coach. Let's go down to the pitch.
Coach, I know it was important to get off to a quick start. We see that again with your center backs. 2 goals in the first 45. Also a little bit of a physical match. You told them to keep their composure out there. What else do you tell them at halftime?
Well, you can see it's an absolute battle, obviously, today. New York's come in and obviously trying to play very physical, and we have to match that, obviously, within the rules of the game. Capitalizing opportunities, obviously, set pieces are huge, as you can tell, but also play intelligent soccer, too. You cannot get exposed in your own half. It's very, very slick, obviously. We want to play in their half as much as possible and just limit the risk that we take.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Lindsay, go inside and get dry. The team will do the same. Halftime here at Nippert finds the orange and blue leading by 1. We'll step aside and take a break. We'll hear from Yohan Dame when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at halftime at Nippert Stadium, where 45 minutes in the books between FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls 2. Orange and Blue assistant coach Yohan Dame is in his 2nd year here in the Queen City and fell in love with the sport at a very young age.
Yohan, what are your earliest memories of playing this sport?
It actually started 20 years ago, after the World Cup in France that the French won in '98. I started to play the game. Before that, surprisingly, I didn't want to touch any ball with my dad. That was trying to make me play a bit of soccer. So after '98, first start, and since then, never stopped.
So the '98 World Cup gets you into it, but was there a moment where you fell in love with it?
Yeah, the '98 World Cup was the start, and I think I loved the game in different ways when I grew up. I started to love the game as a player, and when I was 16, I started to love the game as a coach. So the other side of the game, because I think it's two different sides. When you're on the field, you have to focus more on your teammates, and you're into it, so you cannot really have this point of view that is above the game and have this knowledge. And I think when I was 16, I started to develop another side of it, where I was more about learning and about how to understand what is the game and how you can teach the game. What was a different part for me. So I would say there was different moments and different types of love between me and football.
I'd imagine it's in France. Play for me. But you're 16, you coach.
The first big game when I was more thinking about coaching Marseille than PSG. That is now a big club in France. No, but it was more about I knew my strengths and I knew that I was a player going to make it to the pro level, and I wanted to be part of football as a professional way to start coaching for. I had the opportunity to grade coaching when I was young. That is passion about teaching the game, about coaching, and that's how it started. So I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be young players. Those coaches were young and this passion that they have, they took care of me as a player.
How much? For Dame, the World Cup 20 years ago, found his love for the sport. He certainly enjoyed watching France win the World Cup again 6 days ago. For all the latest in highlights in the USL, let's take a look.
SportsCenter's top plays. Number 10, Fred. That's Matias Silva. Rocket outside the box for a goal. It's the real Monarchs. Swope Park Rangers.
And number 9 for the United Soccer League. Tampa Bay Rowdies, the Charlotte Independents. 90th minute. Dominic Oduro. Absolute firecracker from outside the box.
Phoenix Rising FC, OKC Energy FC. Solomon Asante. That is a goal. That's a finish.
This is soccer. Fresno and Seattle. That's Jamal Johnson.
San Antonio, Reno 1868, 27th minute, Reno's Jerry Avik. Jerry Van Avik.
Steve have action on Las Vegas Lights and the Swope Park Rangers.
It's legal.
Juan Kazane, free kick, bangs it. This is a little soccer for St. Louis FC, Phoenix Rising FC. They're going at it. Chris Cortez, the blast, bang.
Sacramento Republic and Fresno FC. This is deep. Frank Tayu over the goalkeeper.
United Soccer League, Indy 11, Nashville SC. And Absolute Caraca.
United Soccer League, FC Cincinnati, Richmond Kickers. I like that name.
Fresno FC, Swope Park Rangers, 32nd minute. Great passing, and then Jamal Johnson. Back of the onion bag.
Nashville and Penn FC. Nashville work at the give and the go. Glebo Maloto. Bebeto. Maloto.
We're up to 2. More United Soccer League. Jason Johnson.
Be arrested. That's an unbelievable goal.
JJ, the scissor kick.
Tony Sod, holy shnikey, what a firecracker. Look at that thing, that little screwball action. Man, you take it. Of course, the keeper always.
For the Fighting Phils.
Number 1, United Soccer League. That's Cincinnati's goalie, Spencer Ritchie, to Kenny Walker, who puts it in from almost 50 yards. That is silly and saucy.
Silly and saucy, certainly that goal by Kenny Walker, and no doubt there have been some great SportsCenter Top 10 moments throughout the USL this season. Tom Glenner, Ken McCloskey, happy to be back with you at Nippert Stadium, where we are dry, it is raining, and the orange and blue leading 2-1. It's been an exciting first half. There's other action going on in the USL right now. Let's take a look around the league at the scoreboard and see what some of the other results look like this evening. Richmond leading 1-0. North Carolina FC at home up 3-1 on Toronto, who continues to struggle. Louisville City bouncing back after their Open Cup loss, up 1-0. And Pittsburgh right now in a battle with Charleston.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and Charleston, if that obviously stays, that certainly helps FC Cincinnati if both, you know, scores complete as a finish. So interesting, yeah, Louisville up, they're bouncing back obviously from their Open Cup result as well.
See where the standings sit right now in the East. FC Cincinnati, 2 wins already this week, atop the table with 41 points and trying to grow that gap. Certainly a win tonight would help the situation. Pittsburgh, Charleston, and this New York team all there barking, trying to climb the table.
Obviously the top 4, you know, New York's here, 10 points behind FC Cincinnati, but there's not a ton of space in between. Pittsburgh and Charleston obviously playing tonight. Like I said, if that finishes in a draw, that will be very good for FC Cincinnati as they continue to go through. And really, FC Cincinnati just have to continue to control their own fate. They got to keep winning at home, try to get results on the road, which we've seen all season. And so far, it's been a very impressive campaign.
Well, this is the second home match in a 6-match stretch of USL games, 7 altogether. The friendly next Saturday against RCD Espanyol, 7:30 here at Nippert Stadium. Nashville, Penn, and Charleston will round out the league games and this 6-match homestand for the Orange and Blue. The rain continues to fall. We'll be back with first half highlights here at Nippert Stadium. The Orange and Blue leading by a goal. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. First half in the books at rainy Nippert Stadium, and FC Cincinnati on top 2-1. Tom Gletter back with University of Rio Grande All-American Kevin McCloskey. We expected a battle between these two teams, Kevin. Top 4 in the Eastern Conference. We just showed you the table. We've seen that through 45 minutes. It's
been a tough 45 minutes. A lot of hard tackles, a lot of emotion. I think FC Cincinnati so far have done a really good job of, maintaining their calmness and poise. And I think, second half as they continue is, put New York under more pressure, create more opportunities, and hopefully put this game away.
Well, tonight's first half highlights are brought to you by PapaJohns.com. When FC Cincinnati scores twice, which they already have, you save tomorrow. Use code FCPizza50 when you order at PapaJohns.com. And it was the Orange and Blue getting on board first.
Well, these centre backs are making a habit of this, Tommy, for sure. And another great ball in by Ledesma. Forrest Lasso times his run to perfection and a great finish into the bottom corner.
Second match in a row that Forrest Lasso has scored, and it is his second goal of the season. The center backs at that point had scored 3 in a row, and a great ball, of course, from Manu Ledesma to set it up. So it is 1-0 FC Cincinnati, and then the own goal at the other end. On the set piece, Endam showing pressure, and Danny Koenig catches a piece of it.
Hands up, hitting off Danny Koenig's head or shoulder. We need to see this again, really. Endam, but puts their pressure on. I think Danny Koenig's in the right position defensively. Just unlucky, and really not much Spencer Ritchie could have done about that.
Evens the match at 1 apiece. First own goal given up by FC Cincinnati here in 2018. So New York got the answer. Even the match at 1 apiece, but it certainly felt at that point as though the pressure was on. FC Cincinnati was on the attack, creating opportunities, and they found a way in the first half to jump out back on top, once again set up off the foot of Manu Ledesma.
Oh, again, another fantastic flighted ball in from the set piece. You just watch the run of Paddy Barrett at the back post there, though. Times it to perfection. Again, very brave header. Goalkeeper's coming in. Takes a ton of focus just to watch that all the way in. Ends up heading into the bottom corner, 2-1. The difference at halftime.
Paddy Barrett with the goal and another strike from the center backs. It makes it 2-1. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with Lindsey Patterson.
Yeah, guys, I just left the dressing room, and Alan Koch told him it's not going to be pretty, but it is our half out there. It's important to pay attention to detail. Assistant coach Johan DeMay, he actually added, it's just really important to keep that tempo and win the second ball. Jimmy McLaughlin, it's okay to move a little bit lower. Matt Boehner, make sure you are helping out there. In the final 3-3, press together and in possession. It's okay for the ball to skip off. The weather could be a factor in that 3. It's 0-0 in the second 45.
Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. I expect it'll be a battle here for the second half, much like it was in the first 45. Blake Smith throwing it in. The clubs have exchanged sides, and now the orange and blue will work right to left and have a corner kick early on in the second half. A deflected ball goes out along the end line up towards the Bailey. Manu Ledesma, Kenny Walker will both come over and decide who's going to take it. Kenny Walker, wearing the captain's armband tonight, will call off Ledesma.
Just interesting seeing Kenny Walker in swinger here. Well, he sets up how FC Cincinnati approach this corner kick to the front post again.
Walker into the middle. Header is missed on. Blake Smith keeps alive. Corbin Bone back heels it.
I'll be very careful here. Just New York have got a chance to counter quickly.
And here they come. Stroud up the right side, and crashing in defensively was Matt Boehner making a big play.
Yeah, he had to make it as well. Didn't have a ton of support, Tommy. Situations like that, when there's a fast break, you can't miss.
FC Cincinnati with an early corner kick in the second half. Now New York with a chance. Tenari. McLaughlin is there defensively, heads it away. Then Kenny Walker to the far touchline. New York will throw it in inside of their final third. The Baby Bulls trailing by a goal. Matt Boehner clears it defensively for the orange and blue. New York wins it right back. Endam at midfield. Endam into the 18, headed down by Boehner. Al-Badawi trying to get it into the middle. Chipped in the direction of Spencer Ritchie off the foot of Tenari. No trouble there for Ritchie, who comes up to the edge of the 18 and now will let his mates push forward into the midfield before releasing it. The rain fell for about 2/3 of the first half, and we start the second half with a continual downpour as well. Blake Smith trying to catch up with it on the near touchline. Comes off the foot of Stroud. And Smith there will throw it back in. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Sharefax. Bone just misses on the ball. Ledesma can't catch up with it. Stroud into the middle, Caceres. Lasso clears it into the midfield. Possession regained by New York. And
interesting.
A foul.
It's an interesting call.
Yeah.
Forrest Lasso gets really tight. I think the referee tries to play advantage on it. I honestly didn't see much in it. He's playing tight to Tenari in the initial contact. The referee calls it back for free kick. Dangerous position, especially in these conditions. This is a type of distance, really, Tommy, that you can strike it, you can bounce in front of the goalkeeper. You know, it's not a chance where you're trying to get it up and over the wall. You can hit it low enough, or hit it with dip at least, to try to bounce right in front of the goalkeeper.
Well, with Kanon out, Kenny Walker in the captain's armband, pleading his case to Michael Radchuk, the match official, to no avail. 50th minute and a dangerous free kick coming. Tenari strikes it. Spencer Ritchie catches it on his chest.
Great ball by Spencer Ritchie, just to find Jimmy in space. You can get past him here.
Being screened out by De Vera.
De Vera did very well.
Yeah. And Matt Boehner's going to be called for a foul in the midfield. That one I saw and agree with.
I actually think it's not a bad foul either. It gives FC Cincinnati just a chance to get back,
right,
organize again.
All but Ali forward for Koenig. McLaughlin heads it on. Bone over to Danny. Danny with a chance. Pushing towards the 18 on the far side of the penalty area. His cross is deflected out on the end line. And another corner kick opportunity coming for the orange and blue.
He's fired up.
He is.
I tell you what, I don't know if it's because the center backs are scoring more goals right now, or if it's definitely in this challenge here. I think he's arguing to the referee that he maybe got to pull back.
Kevin Pollitt's deflected it. Pollitt's a halftime sub for New York, so they've already gone to the bench and made a change at the midway mark. Ledesma will take this corner kick. It's brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Ledesma inside of the 6-yard box. There was some contact, and a foul is going to be called on Forrest Lasso. He took down Endau.
Just another dangerous ball though by Ledesma. How consistently does it? You know, he hits that area every single time, really. I think they're, well, sorry, take that back. Once in the first half, he overhit it. Trying to replay his disallowed goal from Wednesday on that. I don't know.
A lot of bodies flying around. Right there in front of goalkeeper Evan Laurel. The New York Red Bulls youth product on the goal kick into the midfield. Barlow gets the first touch. Bone trying to chase it down. Corbin certainly has been active tonight. Tenari was looking to cross it, nearly bounced dangerously in the direction of Moreno, but went past him and all the way to Ritchie.
Well, Corbin Bone certainly has been a catalyst again tonight in the attack for FC Cincinnati. He was fantastic again on Wednesday. Really a player that can unlock defenses, find space. Makes it really hard for the opponent really to figure out where he's at, trying to track his runs.
New York came into this match having taken more shots than any team in the USL, 371. Next up, Phoenix with 304. If that doesn't tell you about their tactics and their press, I don't know what else will.
And it's club-wide, you know, and we've hit on this before, but it's certainly the club's philosophy to press. They'll play in a 4-3-3. They'll try to force mistakes higher up the field. Very aggressive in attack. You know, scoring 44 goals now in the season with tonight's goal.
Ledesma trying to give chase, pushes them at 44 goals with the own goal, and FC Cincinnati now up to 41. Been chasing New York. Orange and Blue jumped ahead for a moment, and then New York went and scored 13 in their last 3 games coming into this one. Lasso and Barlow get tied up. The card is out. Paddy Barrett arguing with the match official.
I think Barlow was very aggressive in just how he challenged this. He got away with one actually, Tommy, in the first half as well. He came in late on Paddy Barrett in the first half. Barlow, a guy though, it's got electric pace.
6'2", has good size.
Tons and tons of pace. Very dangerous player to play against.
Second yellow card on the season for the 22-year-old. Joined the Baby Bulls March 15th. Wisconsin product, 23 goals playing for the Badgers. And drafted by New York. Okay. Goal kick coming here for New York, much to the chagrin of the Bailey.
Jack Stearns giving a little bit of a cheeky smile. I think he agrees with that. Jack's a great character. Sure is.
Been a great addition to Alan Koch's staff. Let's see them play the goalkeepers this season. 9 clean sheets between Spencer Ritchie and Evan Newton.
You know, you talk about, we talked about this on Wednesday, trying to get insurance goals, and this is an opponent, Tommy, where, you know, sometimes if you get that extra goal, 2 goals are not enough. You got to play this game to the entirety, right to the final whistle.
McLaughlin got it forward in the direction of Painter, couldn't quite catch up with it as it goes out along the end line. The 9 clean sheets, 2 more than the club had all of last season, and now just 1 shy of the club record of 10 in a single season. Won't get one tonight. Doesn't take anything away from Spencer Ritchie or what Spencer and Evan have done.
No, not at all.
As a tandem for this club.
Listen, you've got to understand too. You got to respect New York's talent. They're a team that's going to score goals. They've scored 44 goals this season.
When we get a moment, I want to talk more about the decision by Alan Koch to start Spencer Ritchie tonight.
Yeah.
Yet Evan Newton coming into this match 381 minutes without allowing a goal at home. That'll obviously continue when he returns to the 11. But it was an important decision for Alan Koch to make this week. 3rd match in 8 days. And we'll walk you through that decision more here momentarily. Free kick headed into the 18, headed away by Lasso. Comes out to the foot of Stauffer. He'll slide it back over to the left. Shot is taken by Moreno. It sails wide. So Spencer Ritchie probably surprised some folks when they saw his name in the starting 11 today. He has battled all season long with Evan Newton. And Ritchie, through his training, earned his way back into the lineup. And Alan said, we have 2 starting goalkeepers. Evan's been fantastic, but it was Spencer's turn to get into the game.
It is, and we talked about it on Wednesday. You know, you brought up Mitch Hildebrandt and what a great job he did at certain times in the season last year and the year before that.
Bone forward to McLaughlin. Gets it to himself. McLaughlin has the angle, and Penn Messi is going to have it wiped out for a foul inside of the 18, and the boos are going to rain down upon the match official.
There certainly was contact by Jimmy. I think he just maybe pulled.
Just enough.
Just a pull on the defender's jersey. Provides a separation here. You can see it. Yeah. Referee does a good job. I think it's actually the assistant on that far side that sees it.
I think Evan Laurel knew it at the time. Didn't make a very big effort to stop that ball as Jimmy shot it. Now New York, an opportunity at the other end. Forrest Lasso has other plans.
I think the referee was spot on that.
Hawksworth and FC Cincinnati are teaming up again from August 6th to August 11th for a blood drive. Donate and receive your limited edition Hawksworth t-shirt for the whiteout on August 12th. Got your whiteout outfit planned yet, partner?
Absolutely, man.
Okay. 58th minute here in the Queen City. The orange and blue leading 2-1. Last year when these 2 teams played in September, regular season home finale for FC Cincinnati, it was 4-2. There were a lot of fireworks in that one. Remember, 4 different goal scorers that night. Kenny Walker had a birdie strike. Harrison Delbridge had one. Austin Perry. Talk about center back scoring. They got it done last year against New York.
Just to finish on that thought in that conversation, we were talking about the goalkeepers. I talked about Mitch Hildebrandt. Did a great job, you know, obviously last 2 seasons made some really big saves. I think the difference really when Alan Koch talked about it, 2 number 1s.
Blake Smith's going to go into the book now after a collision with Jared Stroud. He knocked Stroud down, then stood over him. Talk about composure, and this is where Forrest Lasso, Kenny Walker have to step in.
Got to be disciplined.
And pull in Blake Smith. Blake Smith took exception to a leg sweep from Stroud. I will be shocked if Smith doesn't get a yellow card. We will see what Michael Radchuk does, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has to confer with his linesman on the near side and maybe even the fourth official as well. FC Cincinnati, one of 4 clubs in the Eastern Conference that has not received a red card this season.
It's just interesting to see the FAR official come all the way across as well. Don't see that very often.
John Wolniak is furious on New York's bench. Yeah, Blake Smith's going to get a yellow card, and rightfully so. This will come in the 60th minute. We get an opportunity to see what exactly happened.
The initial challenge. He gets undercut, honestly, and I think that's where he feels like he's been aggrieved a little bit.
He earned his yellow card.
Seen bigger pushes in the lunch line, Tommy.
4th yellow card on the season for Blake Smith. Fighting for your potatoes over in Ireland, right? Wolniak furious, and I think John Wolniak just got thrown out. Well, no, he was summoned back to the bench.
He's been just told to stay in his technical area.
He was, to be fair, maybe a step outside of it. So he has been warned, but you can see the fourth official was all the way down there near the linesman on the near side. Well, you want a rivalry, folks. I tried telling you. New York.
Expect it.
And Cincinnati.
Every time.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see this develop into a Major League Soccer rivalry in the coming years. So Smith booked in the 60th minute. Ritchie puts it back into play. It remains 2-1 in favor of the orange and blue. Second yellow card on FC Cincinnati. Seen 2 on New York. It is getting chippy here at the hour mark. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health.
I think we ever finished that goalkeeper conversation.
Yeah, someday we will.
The biggest point is Alan Koch has got 2 starting goalkeepers, I think.
In the end, you're absolutely right. And Spencer Ritchie getting that turn tonight. Osby Al-Badawi trying to chase down the slow-rolling ball in the direction of Lauro. Misplayed by New York. It'll be thrown back in by FC Cincinnati.
Don't be taking your eyes off the screen, though. There's going to be plenty of action.
You're trying to finish your goalkeeping point and had to
pushes going on, free kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, New York, 2016 USL champions. Another rival. Louisville City won it last year. Desma can't quite catch up with that ball near touch. Throw in for the Baby Bulls. Interesting for New York. Very good at home this year, 8-2-1. They've struggled on the road. 6 draws, but 3 losses. They have not won away from the state of New Jersey in 2018. Desma wins the deflection. Bone trying to keep it alive. New York's going to get the throw in. Ledesma's pulled down. He gets the foul call right in front of manager Alan Koch.
I think at some point there might be a sending off here, Tommy. You hope not, because you hope the game settles down.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we're here to watch it, right?
Right. So as I was saying, FC Cincinnati, one of 4 clubs in the USL that has not had a red card this season. All those yellow cards you talked about earlier, no red cards for FC Cincinnati. All 4 of those clubs are in the East. Penn, Nashville, Pittsburgh, and FC Cincinnati, and all having pretty good seasons. Walker will set up this free kick 40 yards out. 64th minute, his club leading by a goal. Here's the Cleveland native with his right foot, looking far post. Boehner straight up into the air. Koenig tried to get to it, and Laurel caught it first. Walker has it come over his head. Spencer Ritchie comes way off his line and safely plays it up into the stands. New York immediately throws it in. Potty Barrett with a big-time header along the end line to get it to the far side, and then Matt Boehner hustling over just to push it further up the field out of play. Smart play by the Cincinnatian. See, the second sub of the night for New York, and it's the talented scorer Brian White, 22-year-old, will make his 21st appearance on the season. He leads the club in appearances, 7 goals, 5 assists. So an offensive sub here for the Baby Bulls, looking for an equalizer. Ball to Tenari, gets it into the box. Moreno turns, shot is deflected, and they'll say no, actually not touched by FC Cincinnati. Been surprised not to see a corner kick there, as Moreno nearly had a great look about 12 yards away and wasn't able to put it squarely on goal.
Tenari just finds himself again. Just plays a lovely little through pass.
I thought Boehner got a piece of it, apparently not.
Moreno just kind of got it stuck under his feet a little bit, Tommy, too. Wasn't clean.
Ritchie out into the midfield. Jimmy McLaughlin will give chase far side. We thought maybe Jimmy McLaughlin made it 3-1 moments ago, but was called for a foul inside of the attacking penalty area. Lansing header gets past Boehner, touched by New York, thrown in once again by the orange and blue. The club, after tonight, 2 weeks off before their next USL game. Alan Koch has already told the team they'll have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off before coming back on Wednesday to get ready for RCD Espanyol, the international friendly here at Nippert in the month of July for the 3rd consecutive year. Get your tickets now at fccincinnati.com and join us next Saturday. It'll be a festival-like atmosphere and an MLS celebration. McLaughlin unable to catch up with it at the end line.
We talk about next week. Another great chance just to see international players come in. Espanyol, long-serving team in the Liga. These international games have been really fantastic for the youth fan as well, Tommy, just to be able to see international players come in and kind of show their stuff. Just, I think, fantastic experience for the FC Cincinnati players as well.
Carl Lindner is going to address the crowd at halftime, so that should be exciting. And you can get your tickets at fccincinnati.com or call 513-977-KICK. Just announce the attendance, 23,602 here on a very wet and rainy Saturday evening. Service into the box, headed away by Forrest Lasso. Knocked down by Stauffer. Kept alive by New York. Echeverria pulling it towards the corner. Blake Smith deflects it away. 68th minute, 2-1 FC Cincinnati. Stauffer looking to throw it in. Tenari into the 18, turned away, and then Blake Smith's going to collide with Brian White. Goal kick for Ritchie. White, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, didn't start tonight, did start that match back in June when these two teams met. A 2-1 victory for the Orange and Blue, and he was the one who missed the penalty kick at 1-0, and it wasn't saved. He put it over the frame.
He hit it into Route 16, I think.
Yeah, that game was at Red Bull Arena. That was the last game that this club played at Red Bull Arena, now playing at Montclair State in New Jersey.
Such a pivotal moment in the game as well, Tommy.
Absolutely. McLaughlin giving chase. Flex it out on the end line. Third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. Let's go downstairs and check in.
Yeah, guys, the good news, the rain has stopped out here, but Alan Koch calling out each of his players out there in the last couple minutes, and he's saying, get that tempo up, let's go.
Certainly feels as though it's slowed down a little bit in the last few minutes. Tenari over to the right side, Stauffer. Sliding in is Forrest Lasso, showing a brave tackle. And grabbing his knee is Stauffer afterwards. It'll be a throw-in for New York. It was a clean tackle by Forrest. Here's a look at it.
That's certainly a firm challenge. Just this trailing leg. And I think it's actually his hip catches. I think he's holding his ankle more than anything there.
His right foot.
He got caught underneath Forrest.
Stauffer, who's the designee to throw it in, so he limps over to the touchline.
I'm sure he's thrilled about that.
Yeah. And we'll resume action in the 70th minute. Crossed into the middle from Caceres. Now he heads it down. Blake Smith into the midfield. Endom will catch up with it there with Koenig on his back.
So a lot of space here, and I think FC Cincinnati, and Alan could have been alluding to this as well. Talk about tempo. I think he's really got to apply a little bit more defensive pressure higher up the field. Don't allow New York to kind of build from that middle third into their attacking third. And then once they get possession back, they've got to improve the quality, Tommy. Let's start connecting passes here.
New York has controlled the possession about the last 10 minutes, trailing by a goal.
Very sloppy second half, though, really, from both teams.
Very wet pitch here at Nippert Stadium. Tenari will push it over to his left. DeVera's shot turned away by McLaughlin. Immediate throw-in coming. Boehner on the header is going to be called for a foul in a very dangerous spot, about 5 yards off the corner of the 18. Big moment coming up defensively here for the orange and blue. If you missed our injury report earlier, Michael Lahoud had a tight glute all week. Aaron Powell, in working with him, was able to get him ready for the matches last Saturday and Wednesday, but did not feel comfortable setting him up to start today. He is in the 18, available if needed late, but did not start tonight. 72nd minute.
Could be a possible change. You know, we saw this on Wednesday with the 4-2-3-1, the screen with Kenny Walker. Michael Lahoud, if he's able to go, he could certainly slide in there.
Meanwhile,
Corbin Bone goes up a little bit higher. Maybe Nazmi comes off.
Here comes the New York free kick. Blake Smith pushes it out to the far touchline for a New York throw. Comes right to Corbin Bone. He'll send it forward in the direction of Al-Badawi, who had to turn around and try to catch up with it. Stauffer now off his foot. New York immediately regains the possession. Boehner unable to hold it up. Possible numbers for New York. Al-Badawi gets back to break it up. Nice work by Nazmi.
Yeah, it does well. Has space here, and he just relax. Danny Koenig can come across and try to find feet.
Walker sliding in.
That's not a foul.
Before Walker's tackle, the foul was called. Michael Radchuk not making many friends here in Cincinnati tonight.
But like you said, I think you got it right, Tom. I think it's actually before, maybe.
Right.
That's a fair challenge.
You saw it right at the beginning of the clip. Nazmi.
Yeah, just a bit of a pull.
With a bit of a hold up. Yep. Again, a dangerous spot for a free kick for New York. Sent into the box, chopped away by Walker, kept alive. Blake Smith's header gets it outside of the 18.
Handball.
Now the shot, the handball.
Referee sees it.
You're right. Caceres caught it with his arm as he pulled it down off his chest. He fired the shot that ended up going high. FC Cincinnati will get the free kick and a chance to maybe get some possession going now. The rain hasn't stopped the Bailey from rocking tonight.
No, Billy's in food.
Full effect.
Full effect again.
Staying hydrated on this cooler evening.
Bet they are.
Ritchie out wide to Koenig. Trying to get it to McLaughlin. Now Jimmy picks it up outside of the 18. Going to pull it inside of the box and try to go for the tough angle. He's deflected away. And Jimmy does well to earn the corner kick.
Ends up getting the corner kick. I think he could have pulled it back. I think Danny Koenig gets checked his run. In this first opportunity where he receives it, I think he could have played across here. Says decides to go on himself, but yeah, does well enough to draw another corner kick. We'll see Ledesma again be changing up. Looks like they've set up a little bit of a train here.
Echeverria did well there defensively. Ledesma will take it to the left of Lauro. McLaughlin and Endom tied up inside of the 6-yard box. That's a bit of a size differential. Jimmy 5'8", Endom 6'4". Jimmy giving up 8 inches to the big man. Ledesma sends it. Goes far post off the header. Did Lasso or Bard get it? Doesn't matter. It was wide.
I think it might have been Forrest that just got a touch on it. Got to get back here quickly. This is where we talk about preventative shape. Blake Smith did really well to win that.
Comes off the chest of McLaughlin. Then Smith trying to feed it back to Jimmy.
I try to settle down a little bit here, Tommy. Just take the pace out of the game. Kind of playing on it, honestly, almost into New York's hands and their style. They're a team that's high tempo, high press. Kind of try to take the sting out of this game if they can.
15 minutes plus stoppage remaining in the Queen City. The orange and blue leading by a goal. Throw in for New York. Home side unable to establish the possession. Lasso wins it right back though. Koenig with a touch in the direction of Ledesma. And Ledesma dancing around. Tried to center it. Put it just short of Al-Badawi. Bone fighting to regain possession. New York into the midfield. Left to right with their white tops.
Stays in.
Yeah, great ball. Comes to Barlow with Smith on him. Barlow will drop it back. Into the box under the foot of Stauffer. One back and a big defensive play there.
Yeah, great timing. You talk about timing of the tackle. Great timing there from Kenny Walker.
Inside of the 18 has to be perfect, and Kenny did just that. Now Walker wins it back off his leg, then he's shoved to the ground. As he sends it forward, it'll be a throw-in for New York. Kenny just kind of shrugs his shoulders after the way things have gone tonight.
Just get on with it.
Absolutely. Third and final substitution coming here for New York. Chris Lima, the 5'10" midfielder, will come on. Steven Echeverria will sit down. Throwing on the near touch, Barlow plays it right off his chest out on the touchline, and the linesman immediately signals New York ball. Frantic pace to this match right now.
Interesting to see the possession stats at the end of the game, Tommy.
Endom to toss it in to his goalkeeper, dressed in all orange. Laurel. New York trailing by a goal on the road. Ball into the middle. Barrett's there to clear it away. All 3 goals in the first half. It was Lasso in the 17th minute on the feed from Ledesma. New York on an own goal in the 25th minute. And Paddy Barrett, his first of the year in the 36th minute. Again from Ledesma, the difference in this match right now. Koenig misplays it. Brian White heads it down and now puts it into the middle. Barlow gets tangled up with Barrett.
It's a great ball. Great switch. I was just about to say it too. I think they can drop it and find the opposite side, which they've done.
There's Boehner on the run. Boehner with a step to the end line. Put it into the middle. Headed away by New York. It'll slowly bound out near touchline.
I think FC Cincinnati have to do that more often, Tommy. These last 12 minutes. Just try to get New York chasing. If they can find the opposite side of the field, switch the point of attack. And just let the game breathe a little bit.
Throw into Ledesma, who does well to spin on the end line and cross it, but nobody home for FC Cincinnati. Laurel able to collect without any trouble. Looks like Russell Cicerone has been called into the dugout to be Alan Koch's first substitute. We roll on to the 80th minute. The rain has stopped. The orange and blue lead 2-1. Bard to the right, comes off the head of McLaughlin. Ballets wins it back for New York. Bart knocks it out to the far side, but it's one back. McLaughlin can't get to it. Moreno into the middle. Tenari now to the right. Stauffer right at the edge of the 18.
What a tackle that is.
Yeah. Manu Ledesma taking it back. Then Ledesma is cut down.
I see a yellow card here, I think.
Yep. Michael Radchuk not really concerned with what Lucas Stauffer has to stay. Lucas Stauffer lands in the book. His second yellow card of the season, against FC Cincinnati.
It's just a very important tackle here from Ledesma as well. New York come up, they had numbers forward. Very dangerous
right
chance.
Yeah.
He had to make a big time defensive play, and he does.
But then Stauffer turns and goes right at his knee as Ledesma trying to retreat. Easy call for Michael Radchuk. It has certainly been a physical battle here tonight. McLaughlin was trying to drop it back. Moreno intercepted it. Boehner got it back, throwing FC Cincinnati. Let's check in with Lindsay.
Yeah, guys, FC Cincinnati thinking about using a sub with Russell Cicerone, but they're going to see how the next couple minutes go, and he would go in for Ledesma.
Saw Cicerone get his kit top on, then put the penny back on to continue his warm-ups. Good job, Lindsay, on the intel. Ledesma back to Al-Badawi, now over to Barrett. Rain starting to fall.
Starting to come back
here.
again.
Sorry, Linz. Right when she thought maybe she was going to dry out. You know, Linz brings like 3 or 4 outfits to every match, so probably made a quick change at halftime. Ball into the box. Lasso's there to clear it away. Everybody dropping back for the orange and blue.
Got to keep defending here. Certainly putting in a good defensive shift. Tough conditions to defend in.
Decision's been made to bring Cicerone in. Card has been handed in. Barrett to the far touchline. And they're going to waste no time in making this substitution. Ledesma looking over his shoulder. And he's going to find out that he is coming off in the 83rd minute. I like this change by Alan Koch.
No, it's smart. Smart, you've got to manage the game. The situation, obviously, with the cards. Poor Ledesma, got fresh legs.
Love watching Manu Ledesma play. He's an emotional player as well. And this is certainly a management of the game. So Ledesma off, 2 assists tonight. Great work by the native of Argentina. Cicerone on. While that was going on, Tomi Amiobi, who was dressed tonight with Emery Welshman suspended, came into the dugout. He might be sub number 2.
I think you're seeing Seymour as well.
Goal kick coming for Spencer Ritchie.
I think when you see that as well, Tommy, at this stage of the game, 8 minutes left, not necessarily change to bring a player off that's not played well, really management of the clock then.
Yep.
Trying to kill the game off if you can. And the opportunity is certainly there.
Well, he may see some fatigue maybe setting in for Danny Koenig. Jimmy McLaughlin trying to get to this ball. Endom, who's battled with Jimmy all night, clears it out to the far touchline. So if Tommy comes on, it could be for Danny Koenig.
And I think, with the current situation, it's not, you're not taking out your center back, you're taking out your center forward.
Right.
Now his job's really just to go on and track, make it a little bit hard defensively on the back four for New York.
Tommy Amiobi, 2 appearances on the season. Kenny Walker knocks this ball down. And the flag goes up.
And Kenny Walker, he's been everywhere tonight as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked so much about the chemistry on this team and how everybody understands their role. And Spencer Ritchie has remained positive, although he hasn't played really for 2 months in a USL match. Look at Forrest Lasso. I think the center backs are feeling good. Here comes
I told you this is what happens with center backs.
The big man is taken down. Foul is called.
Center back starts scoring goals, Tommy. Then you see big, massive runs.
Yep.
In training, they'll start playing as target forwards.
Well, I saw
it could be a slippery slope.
Yep. Here's a look at it.
As long as they keep scoring goals, though. Yeah. There's no.
Got him.
He played the part as well.
So I talked to Deco at halftime. I mentioned he's 2 booths down to our right watching the match with his father. And I said, how about the center backs? 4 straight goals. And he just looked at me and said, we got to keep it going.
Yeah, I know.
Got to keep it going. You know how serious he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, it's great if we keep getting them. Well, maybe an opportunity here. 85th minute, 2-on FC Cincinnati. Kenny Walker will take the free kick.
It's interesting to see where the goalkeeper is here.
Walker strikes it. Forrest Lasso got his head on it and put it just wide.
He's like a shark right now, man.
Feeling it. That might have put New York away if Forrest had been able to finish it. Loro out into the midfield. Lasso will turn it away. He's been big defensively as well.
Huge. Huge. I think, we've talked a lot about the center backs. This guy here that just intercepted that, Kenny Walker, though, for me, I think he's been everywhere. So important defensively. Understands his position. Timing of tackles, hard on the tackle. His distribution's been good. It's been a big, big performance for Kenny tonight.
Ball sent into the middle. Bart gets his boot on it to clear it. Finds Nazmi. Al-Badali working hard, loses it. Casares gets it back. Spencer Ritchie leaps and lets the ball sail over his head towards the horseshoe end of the stadium. Rain continues to fall in the 87th minute with the orange and blue leading by a goal.
I say fair play to the fans, though, Tommy. They've stuck around and stuck this out. See, less than ideal conditions, but they've been brave, been very supportive.
You mentioned Will Seymour. He is getting instructions from assistant coach Johan Dame right now, so he very well could be the second sub. Tommy Amiobi with his kit top on continues to hustle. You see some stretching going on now as New York cramping up. And this isn't a delay tactic in a match in which they're trailing by a goal in the 87th.
Just gonna keep those cards in his pocket and I want to see what happens, really.
Go back to my point on Tommy Amiobi, the Englishman, warming up, maybe coming in. Has played 2 matches this year, 10 minutes. As positive as a player as you will ever meet.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Great attitude at all times and ready when called upon. Emery Welshman picks up a suspension. He knows he's going back into the 18, potentially going into the match, and he's locked and loaded, focused, ready to go for Allen.
I think the current group here, this current roster right now, have been unbelievably professional. And the finish, I will get to finish this because by the time I finish it, Spencer will take the kick. Spencer Richards' attitude as well has been top class. It's another reason why, and this is what you were saying too, why Evan Newton has been so good as well, because he gets that every day in practice, right? And if his attitude's not right in practice, it drops Evan Newton. He's not as effective, he's not being pushed. So they definitely are a team, and Jack Stern as well has to get credit for that.
Evan knows he has to be sharp every single day. There's a Major League Soccer goalkeeper that's sitting right behind him and itching to get back in. And Spencer certainly made the most of this opportunity. Ball bounding in the direction of Laurel. He'll collect it at the edge of the 18 and quickly turn it left to right for his mates. Stauffer. Back to the foot of Lima. On to the right side, Stauffer. Looking to cross it, bar it. Has it skipped over his head, and Boehner will take his time before clearing it out in the midfield. Will Seymour is at midfield, and he'll check in at the next whistle, and Tomi Amiobi now getting instructions, so he will come on for the third time this season as well.
I think with how many stoppages we've seen, Kenny Walker just gets caught there.
Cleated his goalkeeper.
Talk about the stoppages. This will play obviously a big factor in added time, which means Allen's got to just play his cards right until the very end. He's got to watch it, try to manage it.
Corbin Bone, who's had another fantastic night, comes off. Bone leads this club in minutes played. Put in 89 tonight. Will Seymour comes on for the 5th time this season. Bone will get the handshakes on the way to the dugout. Seymour into the match is FC Cincinnati trying to close out win number 13.
I think a big thing for Seymour, just the center midfielder here. He's got to come in. He's got to make sure he understands his defensive responsibilities first and foremost. Looks like a long throw they've got to defend here.
Skips right to the chest of Richie, but a dangerous ball, right?
I'm going to put myself in Allen's shoes. They're making that sub on that set piece. It's definitely an anxious moment for that.
4 minutes of stoppage time here at Nippert Stadium. Seymour with a touch in the direction of Cicerone. Russell Cicerone is going to be called for a foul. Taking down Kevin Paulitz. Tomi Amiobi now set to come into the match and kill a little bit of the clock at the next opportunity. Blake Smith into the midfield.
Got to keep tracking runners in these situations here.
White with a shot, I think came off the face of Kenny Walker. Stauffer, 2 defenders on him. Smith shoved.
Blake Smith did really well.
Right?
Yeah, just to concede the throw-in versus the corner kick.
Here comes that 3rd and final sub. You know, I've joked with you a lot lately about how my 2 sons, 6 and 3 years old, have been playing soccer in the backyard a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think those backyard games are like at the Amiobi family growing up?
Competitive?
Little bit, not like they are in my backyard.
You never know.
You never know.
Your kids are young still, right?
Right. And the landscape of this
Tommy,
sport,
I believe in your kids even if you don't.
I appreciate that. I didn't say I don't believe in them. They're asleep right now, probably not listening.
Hopefully.
I didn't say I don't believe in them, just to be crystal clear.
But your Uncle Kevin does.
Uncle Kevin believes in them. And certainly the landscape of the sport changing drastically here in this city every day. Stoppage time in Nippert Stadium. Throw in for New York, trailing by a goal. Stauffer crosses it. Lasso makes another play. Amiobi with a header trying to clear it. Cicerone catches up. Blake Smith with a left boot out into the midfield.
Just as FC Cincinnati start to push up here, though, they've got to make sure they understand. They got to check their shoulder, see what they're leaving just on that.
Stauffer gets it across the middle and it hits the post. White onto his foot. Lasso clears it, and the orange and blue get lucky.
Tommy, I think lucky is an understatement on that. They get out of jail on that one, Tommy. I just talked about it. You've got to follow your runners. You can't switch off. You can't just get set and just moving forward. You got to check your shoulder left and right. What are you leaving?
New York inches away from the stoppage time equalizer. Kenny Walker will get it out to Amiobi.
Tomi Amiobi here has got to try to find a corner or a support player. Did well.
He found Al-Badawi. Seymour
did well.
Splits 2 defenders. Seymour just loses it now in New York. Will knock it forward just past the midway point of stoppage time.
Smart. Paddy Park just
launch it 4 rows up.
Hoof that into the stands.
Bard's goal stands as the game winner for the moment. Amiobi is going to be called for a foul in stoppage time. setting up a golden opportunity for New York.
See the goalkeeper coming up here.
Here comes Loro to give him some extra height at 6'3". There's the opportunity that hit the post.
Big chance they've got to defend this.
Here comes the ball into the box. Knocked to the left of Spencer Ritchie, who dives and it goes wide. Another chance for New York. And they can't quite connect on it. Can the orange and blue now kill off this match? We got a piece of that one. It was White.
I think, Spencer doesn't see that till late. I think he has it covered, though.
Brian White's made his presence felt. Don't forget the international friendly. 1 week from tonight. Get your tickets at fccincinnati.com. Spencer Ritchie puts it out into the midfield. Amiobi heads it on. McLaughlin trying to catch up with it. Chance of FCC echoing throughout Nippert Stadium, trying to encourage Michael Radchuk to blow the full-time whistle.
He's not done it yet. Stay over the 4 minutes. Try to work it into the corner.
McLaughlin will give chase. Stauffer.
That's fine.
Has it turned away by Jimmy. Throw in for New York.
It's got to try to stay compact in this corner. Don't let New York get out of this corner.
There's the throw in. Boehner wins it right back. McLaughlin does well to find Amiobi. Now Jimmy. To Nazmi Al-Badawi. Russell Cicerone. Cicerone will take a shot. Bounding ball is cleared off the line at the last moment. What's Radchuk waiting for? There it is. Full-time whistle sounds. And they are dancing in the Bailey tonight for the 3rd time this week. 3 points for the orange and blue.
Great performance. You can tell just every player off the bench, as soon as that final whistle went, they leaped up. Ecstatic with the result and the performance. A tough game, a tough opponent too, Tommy. You think about New York, they're in form. They come in, you're a young team with attitude, with grit. They threw a lot at this FC Cincinnati team. And credit to FC Cincinnati and Alan Koch's team. They handle every single moment.
Paddy Barrett's goal in the 36th minute. The difference tonight as FC Cincinnati wins 2-1 and picks up 3 more massive points in the Eastern Conference as that margin continues to grow.
We talk about massive points just against, again, a talented team. A team that's going to go on and upset. Play Pittsburgh, play Charleston, play Nashville. Massive points.
See Forrest Lasso, he had the first goal celebrating. Our moment of the match is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. I think it goes to Paddy Barrett.
Goes to the Irish guy. Ends up obviously being the game-winning goal. Terrific. Ball into the back post. Paddy Barrett times it to perfection, really. I think he's very brave on that too. He knows that the goalkeeper's coming in on him. Doesn't lose focus, keeps his eye on the ball. Ends up being the difference to earn a valuable 3 points.
Paddy Barrett, the 11th different player to score this year for FC Cincinnati. The 9th different player to score a game-winning goal. It's victory number 13 on the season for the Orange and Blue. We'll hear from the head coach and wrap it up when we return. The final score, FC Cincinnati 2, New York Red Bulls 2, just 1. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nibbert Stadium, where Patty Bard finds the game winner, and FC Cincinnati victorious by a final tally of 2-1. Tom Glitter alongside Kevin McCloskey, the third member of our broadcast team. Lindsey Patterson is with victorious head coach Alan Koch.
Coach, you said going into tonight it was going to be a battle, but what a week for you guys here at home. 3 wins, 3 points again here tonight. You just huddled the guys in a circle. What did you tell them?
Well, first off, for a team, obviously, and there's several guys tonight that haven't played that much in the last few weeks. So I'm incredibly proud of everybody in the group, but obviously the guys that haven't played, they come to work and work just as hard as the guys that had all the success in the last few games. So I'm very, very happy for them. I'm happy for the entire group. To get 9 points this week is obviously amazing. You couldn't do any better. And so it's a good kickstart to the tail end of the season. We know we still have a lot of work ahead, but we're going to give the guys a couple of days off, and they really, really deserve them. But I'd also like to add, thanks to the fans, not just tonight. Obviously, they've come out in numbers, and the ones that braved the weather tonight. I don't know whose jacket this is. I think I'm on my 3rd jacket for the night. But we greatly appreciate the support that we get from everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Lindsey, good work. We'll check back in with you here momentarily. It's time for the Toyota post-match highlights, and the action got started early. Forrest Lasso finding his 2nd goal of the week off the ball from Manu Ledesma.
And it's become habit forming too, Tommy, which is certainly what Alan Koch wants. I'm not sure about that, that's why I just can't get past it, but what a finish. Great ball by Ledesma again to find him.
Ledesma's 2nd goal made it 1-0, and that's where we stood, well, for about 5 minutes, no, 8 minutes, and then the ball in the direction of Endam, and it found the shoulder of Danny Koenig. Ends up being an own goal to equalize it for New York.
Really an unfortunate goal to give up. Not much Danny Koenig really could have done. He didn't even look at the ball, really. He's watching the defender. I think it ends up hitting off maybe his shoulder or the top of his head to go in. Endam's claiming it for sure, but ends up tying up the game.
So that tied the match at 1-1 in the 25th minute. So Patty Bard's thinking, Forrest Lasso has 2 goals this week. Deco Kanan has a goal this week. What about me? What about adding another one for the center backs? And it was Patty Bard. Again, on the end of a pass.
The center back in the box, yeah. Tommy, you're absolutely right. This ball in here, Ledesma just drifts it, finds the run at the back post, and again, great header into the bottom corner. Ends up being a winning goal and 3 valuable points.
So the game winner for Patty Bard, you can see the big smile on his face as it was 2-1. Jimmy McLaughlin thought for a moment that he had made it 3-1 on a great run, but a little bit too aggressive getting inside of the 18.
That's a little physical play. Good ball in by Corbin Bone. Good first touch. There's just a little bit of contact by Jimmy. It ends up being a free kick. I think the referees were spot on. I think for the most part too, I think the referees, even though with the yellow cards and it was a stop-start, I thought they handled it well, Tommy.
Fortunately, did not make a difference in the final score. Tonight, Lindsey Patterson not done yet. She's with Patty, who had the game winner.
Yeah, he did, but before that, earlier this morning, I think you were tweeting out that this was a little bit of an Irish summer. What about these conditions? Were they okay for you?
Yeah, obviously I'm used to these conditions. You know, we have them, obviously not the heat, but we have that rain, you know, kind of all year round back home, you know, so I used to playing in nights like this, but obviously not in front of crowds like that.
Can you walk us through that goal?
Yeah, look, obviously, as Liz was saying to me earlier, you know, the centre backs this week have kind of stood up to the plate, but we've worked on set pieces during the week, and obviously it's paid off. It was a great ball from Manu, you know, and he just put it on a 50-pence piece, you know, and obviously it was just me guiding it into the corner.
The centre backs are on fire right now. What are they feeding you guys?
Yeah, I don't know, but I wouldn't mind some more of it.
Thanks so much, Patty. Go celebrate with your...
Cheers, thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. Great job tonight. You go get dry. Patty certainly is going to enjoy this one. So 2-1. We thought it would be a battle. Maybe not as high scoring as we imagined, but FC Cincinnati did everything they needed to do to win it tonight.
I think it was everything that we expected. We expected a team of New York that were going to throw everything at them, which they did. A team that's young and chippy, and a team from FC Cincinnati again that's shown even more experience. You know, and I think what Alan said was perfectly right. He summed it up to perfection. The players that haven't played as much and haven't enjoyed the success, they came in, they played professionally, and they had big performances tonight.
Well, once again, our final score tonight from Nippert Stadium, 2-1 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Our next broadcast of the Orange and Blue comes your way Saturday when FC Cincinnati stages the international friendly here at Nippert against RCD Espanol. We'll have coverage for you beginning at 7:30 here on WSTR and ESPN 1530. For my broadcast partner, Ken McCloskey, our sideline reporter, Lindsey Patterson, and producer, David Ashbrook, I'm Tom Glitter saying goodnight, and thanks for tuning in to FC Cincinnati.